was my goal to be done by noon. I've got bad news. It's good to be here. We've been looking forward to this moment for a while now. It's exciting. My family and I, we like playing games. We like all kinds of games, card games, board games. Emmett, the longer the game, the more he loves it. Arlo likes games where everyone wins. But we all like games. What I discovered, though, although I've liked games my entire life, I don't like reading the rules. I read the rules kind of like a third grader does his handwriting. Just enough to get by. And so I would read the rules and think, okay, I get the gist of this, let's play. It was interesting when I started dating my wife, and I suggest we play my favorite game, Milborn's. I discovered that my entire life I had not known the rules. She did. There's an advantage to marrying a teacher. So now when we play games, much to her delight, we hand her the rules, and then she teaches us. Sometimes in life, we tend to overcomplicate things that don't need to be complicated. Jesus, when he sat down with his disciples for the last time, he had one clear message for them. It was one job. He did not hand them a church manual. He did not hand them a catechism. He gave them one job. He said, "All authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples." In the process of making disciples, there will be baptizing, there will be teaching. But the one job is you need to make disciples. It wasn't just those first disciples who this was tasked with. You see, there were 11 disciples there. Ellen White tells us that there were about 500 other people as well, followers of Jesus who gathered there to hear from Jesus. And all of them, he gave this task to go and make disciples. If the task of a disciple is to make more disciples, then as followers of Jesus, what is our one job? It's to make disciples. We are called to make disciples. It's not enough to just come to church each Sabbath. It's not enough to listen to sermons. It's not enough to go to prayer meeting. It's not enough to go to Sabbath school. As disciples of Jesus Christ, we are called to make disciples. That is the one job. Unfortunately, though, we don't always feel like we're good enough. We don't feel like we've got what it takes to be a disciple maker. That probably should be the job of a pastor or an evangelist or at least an elder. So often when we read the Great Commission, we start with either verse 18 or verse 19. But when we read it today, we started with verse 16. Now the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had directed them. So often as you read through the Gospels, they're referred to as the 12. But here, it's the 11. This is a broken team. They've lost one of their own. When we When we lose someone we love, it hurts. They're broken. There have been several this morning who've mentioned to me that they're glad I'm here, but they miss Pastor Bryce. That's fair. You've lost someone you love. That's okay. Here, the 11 disciples. And when they saw them, they worshiped him, but some doubted. Not only were they broken, but they had doubts. And this was the team. This was the group. This was the audience that Jesus gave the Great Commission to. They were not perfect. They did not have it all figured out. They were broken. They were hurting. They had questions. And Jesus said, okay, now go and make disciples. I remember years ago I attended a wedding, and it finished late that evening, and I was driving back, and I was driving on I-75 between Chattanooga and Atlanta. And as I was driving, the car did a little sputter. I am not a mechanic, nor the son of a mechanic. But I knew exactly what it was. Because although I'm not a mechanic or the son of a mechanic, I've grown up with cheap cars. Cheap cars and busy schedules and procrastination. And I know the exact feeling of a car running out of gas. And as it sputtered, we pulled over on I-75, and it was pouring rain. And if you know that stretch between Chattanooga and Atlanta, you're happy to know that there are lots and lots of exits, except where I was. It was the longest stretch without an exit. And there was nothing to do except go to the next gas station. And there I was, dressed in my suit, the rain coming down, cats and dogs, and I started jogging the 2 miles it was from there to the next exit. As trucks would go by, waves of water, and not the kind of water we shower in. This was water right off the freeway, would come crashing over me over and over again. And by the time I finally got to the gas station, although I was wearing my nice suit, I did not look my best. People avoided making eye contact with me. I bought a gas can, I filled it up, and I started looking around because surely someone would give me a ride back to my car. But instead, mothers locked their doors, and everyone looked away. Across the street was the only other thing open that late at night. It was Waffle House. I don't know if you're familiar with Waffle House. It is a thing of the South. But Waffle House is the place you go when everything else is closed, because it is open 24/7. Waffle House is where you go when you don't care about the health message. And so I walked into Waffle House hoping someone would give me a ride back to my car, because I didn't think I had what it took to jog back. I am not a runner. What was it? 20 Steps to Fitness. That is not my favorite book. And I walked into Waffle House, and the craziest thing happened because no one looked away. When they heard what was going on, they didn't argue over their other tasks or things. Instead, they argued over who got to take me back to my car. I realized that night, between Chattanooga and Atlanta on that rainy day, between the gas station and Waffle House, there are two pictures of what church could be. So often, unfortunately, we're the former. Where we put on our best clothes and we come to church and we act like we have everything together. We act like everything is going well. We smile and we say happy Sabbath, even though on the inside we're broken. Even though on the inside we're hurting. We come forward for prayer with burdens on our heart that go unmentioned. But when we see someone clearly in need, when we see people hurting, we avoid eye contact. We avoid eye contact because sometimes we've got enough trouble of our own. We avoid eye contact because who are we to be equipped to help? We avoid eye contact because that's probably someone else's job. And then there's Waffle House. The thing about Waffle House is you don't go to Waffle House to show off. You don't go to Waffle House dressed in your best clothes. You don't go to Waffle House because you're important. You go to Waffle House because no matter who you are, they care about you. So Jesus there on the hill, he gave the Great Commission not to a perfect group. He gave it to a broken group. There's a beautiful thing about the way Jesus works, because when we put together teams, we try to get the absolute best team. The smartest, the brightest, the best looking. And Jesus doesn't operate that way. He takes the broken. He takes the broken because those are the people who need him. He takes the broken because those are the people whose lives are changed. He takes the broken because they're the people who are best equipped to make disciples. I'm excited about starting here at Stevensville. I'm excited about what God has planned for this church. And I'm excited not because of who you are or who I am. I'm excited because God uses broken people. God takes our mistakes and uses them for his kingdom. God takes our hurt, he takes our pain, and he transforms that into a connection. God takes people from Waffle House, and he sends them to the ends of the earth. I do believe Jesus is coming soon. You can't avoid that fact. I believe Jesus is coming very soon. And now more than ever, it's time for us to do the one job we've been called to do. Let's make disciples.